wish Tony and Frisco would hurry up with breakfast.
Darling, I wish you had eaten more than just a piece of toast for breakfast.
Well, I get nervous before I go on a plane ride. Besides, they'll probably serve something on the flight.
There is nothing better than a home-cooked breakfast.
What about home-cooked lunches and dinners, too?
Oh, Felicia. Will you miss that?
You know I will.
But you would miss Frisco and poor Charles even more.
If I stayed here, you mean?
You did have a choice.
Grandmother, are you saying you'd rather I not go to Port Charles with Frisco?
Well...
Mariah, telephone for you.
All right.
You did a magnificent job while I was away. The office looks terrific.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Donnelly.
Any new messages since last
No,
time
they're
I
all
called
repeats,
in?
I believe.
Mr. Hines called today?
Haven't heard a word from him.
I see. Any long-distance calls, person to person?
Perhaps from Indiana.
No. That reminds me. I need you to sign those checks for last month's utility bills. I'll get them.
All right, I'll be inside. Oh, Linda, this is wonderful. Just wonderful.
Why do you think Slater has to call you?
I don't know.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I have a few questions in my head.
Yeah, but I only have one thought. I don't trust Slater. I don't trust Morgan. What's to stop them from going south with the treasure?
Oh, come on, Saura.
Don't tell me that hasn't occurred to you now.
Here they are, Mr. Donnelly.
Oh, thank you.
You got a minute, or am I interrupting?
No, you're not interrupting.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What?
There are no startling headlines in the morning paper.
Well, what'd you expect?
The payoff, Robert. Need I remind you, Bobby's trial date was canceled yesterday.
Well, I can fill you now if you like.
Oh, shall I take off my coat?
Why not if you're going to roll up your sleeves?
You gonna put me to work or what?
I am. I'm about to get a confession in the Brock murder.
Doing that now?
Since I'm going to be making a confession today, I doubt I'll have time to do it later.
I don't really think that laundry has a priority under the circumstances, do you?
Mike still needs his things. His life has to go on. And this is the least I can do for him. Maybe the last thing I can do for him, so please let me do it.
Hey, whatever you want to do, please. You don't have to ask for my permission. Anything that makes you happy, go ahead. Probably leave all
Don't
alone.
answer that yet.
You knew he was coming
I
by.
don't want him to see me.
Ginny.
I don't want to see him. I can't do that. I'm going to go upstairs. I'll finish the rest of this upstairs. Thank you.
Lee. Thank you for coming. Please.
Well, how could I not? You made it sound so urgent. Hey, what's wrong? You look wiped out.
I am. It's just it's about as bad as it could be. I need your help.
Well, of course. Tell me what.
The best attorney you know of. The best. The very best.
What's the problem?
Ginny is the one who killed young Brock.
What?
I found out last night. I'm sorry to dump it on you, but I don't know who else to turn to.
Wait a minute. Have the police been notified?
I talked to Scorpio. Ginny is going in today to sign a confession.
Well, you're absolutely right now. To want an attorney immediately, she must not go to the police till she has one.
I wouldn't know where to start looking for a good one now.
All right. There's a young man in my former firm, Brett Madison.
I don't need a young guy. I want the best.
Hey, Rick, now calm down now. Hear me out.
Sorry, Lee. I wish you weren't the mayor right now. I wish you were still in law practice.
Look, I still know a good trial attorney when I see one, and Brett Madison is tops. He's got the energy, he's got the know-how.
You think he's that good?
If I were in Ginny's shoes, I would pick Brett Madison. Now, doesn't that tell you something?
Good trial lawyer.
Well, The firm took a long time to find somebody to fill Jake's shoes. Brett Madison was worth waiting for, Rick.
Lee, I just don't know what's happening. Can't believe it.
Now, surely Ginny was provoked here, huh?
Yes, definitely.
All right. There's a great deal of difference between that and a premeditated killing.
He was putting a continuous pressure on her. He had lost all control. That night he threatened her with a gun.
Well, under those circumstances...
What?
Brett Madison will make the most of it. Now, you can rely on him.
Thank you.
And
I don't know what to do.
In the meantime, now, I am, of course, available to you anytime you need to talk. You just call me.
Appreciate that.
Well, I'd better call Madison right now.
Lee, we're supposed to be in Scorpio's office as soon as we can today.
Well, you'll be glad that you got Madison with you right from the start. You know, he got his baptism in criminal law as prosecutor, city prosecutor for Rochester. So he knows all of the pitfalls for the defense.
Good.
This is Mayor Lee Baldwin. Is Brett Madison there? No, I'll hold. He'll be on in a minute.
It's ironic. He's in your former office, and it's your police commissioner, Robert Scorpio. Who are you betting on?
All in all, I couldn't have asked for a better set of clues. The dress, the plaque, the gloves, and the purse. Almost as good as fingerprints.
Then why the gaslighting? You could have brought her in on the evidence alone.
Confession is not only good for the soul, it's also better for us. I mean, let's face it, nobody actually saw her shoot Brock. Nobody actually saw her in the vicinity of the penthouse. I mean, her attorney could come up with a half a dozen different scenarios, starting with Brock shot at Ginny, she fled the penthouse.
Well, I am just worried about this department being nailed for entrapment.
Oh, forget it.
You know, the public is down on that sort of thing, or haven't you noticed?
Look, you know as well as I do that it is not entrapment. I never set her up to commit a crime. I simply showed her a plaque and gave her a reminder of a bloodstained dress.
A reminder.
I mean, you know, only fair that she should know what she's up against. Not entrapment. Not even gaslighting, if you want to be literal.
Really?
Look, I care to call it encouragement. Incentive to confess of her own free will, which is exactly what's going to happen when her husband brings her in here.
Good show, Robert.
Well, that took you long enough.
Who's my competitor?
A lawyer? We don't know yet.
Well, I'll have enough competition as it is with the defendant. Ginny Blake definitely has a flair for the dramatic.
True. But for the moment, you have some routine to clear up.
And what's that?
Bobby Brock.
Oh, that.
That. I'm referring to the papers dismissing all the charges of murder.
Yeah, all in good time.
I want it done now.
What's the big hurry?
I don't want her to suffer a moment longer than is absolutely necessary. Now, she is totally unaware of the Ginny factor, but when that confession comes out, we know exactly what's going to happen, don't we, huh?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'll start things
Say no
rolling.
more. I appreciate it.
Well, I'd like a word with you.
I don't think we have anything to talk about.
Oh, all right then. I'll just talk to your colleague here. Mr.
I
Morgan.
doubt that Mr. Morgan has anything to say.
Not in my department.
Uh-huh. You know, there's a rumor going around, Commissioner, that there's going to be a major break in this Brock murder case.
Try another bait. You're fishing.
Oh, come on, Commissioner. I'm just telling you what I heard.
Since when do you believe everything you hear?
I don't. Not unless, of course, it comes straight from the horse's mouth. Now,
Sorry.
Ah, come on, Commissioner. What are you trying to do here? You saving a big scoop for the preferred members of the media? Is that what you're trying to do
Whatever
here?
gave you that idea, you know I just love you all.
Oh, yeah. We all get the same handouts, too, right?
What can I say? I always try to be fair with the press.
Uh-huh. Well, I'd have to give you a D on fairness when it comes to the print media there, Commissioner.
Well, then
as a matter of fact, I think that would be great for an editorial, don't you?
I guess I have been helpful after all.
You hadn't been helpful, you've been blatant.
Well, I'll read about it tomorrow. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Commissioner, I'm talking about Ginny Blake here.
What about her?
Ever since this case started, she's had open access to this office. Now, all you've given the newspaper is just PR stuff, while Ginny Blake gets to go anywhere, take her cameras anywhere. I don't call that fairness, I call that favoritism.
Do you?
Morgan and Slater aren't fools. They know there's no place on earth they could ever hide from me.
Well, I suppose you do have a good point there.
Yeah, and that's why I know they didn't take off with the treasure. Yes, Linda.
Mr. Hines is on the line.
I could put him on, please. Slater, where in the hell are you? Oklahoma. What do you do? You in first gear all that way? Well, this better be a grade A clutch job, my friend. Al. Uh-huh. Yeah, and try to avoid getting any speeding tickets on the way in, all right? Good. No. I can live with 48 hours. Right. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye. You can relax, Saura.
Can they make it less than 48 hours?
Oh, come on. You know Sam can't help with the driving, and Slater has to sleep occasionally.
One loose end.
What?
Felicia.
Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. Question is, what did she learn in Mexico after she escaped from our kidnappers?
Exactly.
And I use that term loosely. They were a couple of idiots.
Kelly's. Oh, hi, Mr. Donnelly. No, she's not here, but I expect her soon. She called me this morning from Texas.
Ruby, how did she sound to you?
Well, she sounded disappointed in Mexico.
Uh-huh. I see. Well, maybe it was just the weather then, eh?
Well, I don't think she found any bargains. She said there was no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Oh, I see. Well, we'll find out soon enough, eh?
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Something wrong?
I don't know yet. Felicia's little trip to Mexico could still turn out to be a problem for us.
Felicia, did you actually think that I would try to keep you here?
And you really thought that I really wasn't committed to my life in Port Charles?
I was just worried that you might change your mind.
Why?
Well, the treasure and your studies were the original reason for your going there. You don't have that incentive anymore.
Not worried you?
Felicia, I want you to be committed to your life, wherever you are, no matter what you do.
Grandmother, I know it'll take me a while to be settled anywhere.
Well, you couldn't have a better or more patient young man than Frisco. Oh, darling, give it time.
Aboard, let's go on aboard. Come on. Let's go. Here, first, everybody.
We're leaving.
Mariah, thank you
There's no turning back.
You're excellent. Oh, I wish you too. We should.
All right, pack it up.
Once more.